church family, this is Pastor Andy, and I have some exciting news that I am really glad to share with you today. I want to introduce you to our reopening plan as a church. In fact, you can read the entire plan on our website. I would encourage you to do that so that you can catch all the details. I just want to hit some of the highlights today. As we talk about reopening, I feel in some ways a little conflicted about using that term because we never closed. Our buildings closed, but the ministry of First Baptist Church, the worship of the people of First Baptist Church, though it has been different, has been open for business all throughout this pandemic season. But we are reopening our building and we're returning to more of our regular programming, and we're going to do that in phases and steps throughout the summer. And I want to take just a few minutes to introduce that to you and go over that with you so that you'll know what to expect and you can be prepared to engage in all that God has in store for us. First of all, we're going to go back to 2 services at 8:30 and 11 o'clock. And those worship services will have their own unique character. Some of you who maybe used to go to the 11 o'clock service will feel more comfortable in the 8:30 service based on the design environment of that service, and I'll explain that in just a second. Some of you who normally go to the 8:30 service will maybe feel more comfortable in the 11 o'clock service. These 2 services are meeting at the same times as they used to, but they're a little different for this season. So you may find yourself in a different service because of the unique nature of them, and we welcome that. And then after this season is over, we'll go back to our regular format, and you can readjust as you see fit at that time. But first of all, our 8:30 service, our first service, will meet in the sanctuary. We will gather in there for worship, and it'll be great to be back together in the room that we normally worship in. And we are really wanting to focus on, in that service, on being super safe. We're going to follow all recommendations and requirements for safety, and we're going to go to the extra mile to provide the safest environment possible for those, especially who are our oldest members or those who are medically vulnerable. We want you to feel safe and secure when you come to church to worship. And just like some of our shops are providing a special shopping hour for people, we want to provide that service as a means of making you know that you are super safe to be here. Now, anybody can attend either service. We're not going to tell you which service you have to go to. We're not interested in doing that at all, but we just want everybody to know the unique personality or character of the services, unique environments, and then you make the decision that's best for your family. But in this 8:30 service, we're going to go to the extra mile to provide some boundaries, to provide safety and peace of mind for everybody involved. For example, every other row will be closed so people can spread out. All the doors to the sanctuary will be open, and to the foyer will be open from outside so that there's minimal contact, and really that's the goal, minimal contact or touching of anything for safety and maximizing social distancing. No bulletins will be handed out, no offering plates will be passed. You will not be required to wear a mask. If that's not something you want to do, you're not going to be expected to do that, but if you would feel more comfortable doing so, we will welcome you to do that. Everyone will be expected to use hand sanitizer as they enter the building. There will be no meet and greet time to avoid any contact, but we do want to greet each other, so we'll turn and wave and smile and greet one another that way. People will be asked to refrain from congregating in the aisles or in the hallways. That way that people who are trying to walk through those areas won't feel any sense of congestion, and we can maintain social distancing out of respect and consideration. There will be no child care during the worship service, no nursery, no children's worship during this short season. That's to free up our children's workers. Not all of them are ready to come back and to rotate back in, and just for this short season, that'll be easier. Children are welcome to attend the service with their families. They just need to be prepared to help us honor the social distancing that we are aiming for that service. Then there will be no other activities in the sanctuary all throughout the week, so when you attend that service on Sunday, you don't have to worry that it's been contaminated by anybody else. And in fact, we're going to be doing a deep cleaning and a sanitizing at a real high level throughout the week so that it's ready to go for Sunday, and you can feel really good about the safety in that room. There will be no choir, and I know that's a bummer for folks who sing in the choir, and everyone loves to hear the choir sing. but we just can't provide social distancing in the choir loft. We just don't have enough room to spread everybody out. And then we are going to really ask that anybody who has a cough, a fever, or feels ill does not attend that service or the other service. We love you. We would love to see you, but we need you to stay home, and we want you to get well and not risk contaminating anybody else. That's the 8:30 service. It will be different. It'll be spread out, but it's not going to be gloomy. We're going to come back together, and we're going to joyfully worship the Lord together and enjoy seeing one another again as a church family. At 11 o'clock, we are also going to be safe. We're going to be safety conscious, but we're going to be a little more relaxed. We're going to follow all guidelines for sure, but we're going to place it more in your hands to maintain social distancing. We are going to spread out and spread the rows out that everyone sits in. We are going to have metal chairs available, but if you would prefer a little more comfortable chair, you want to bring your own lawn chair, a pop-up chair, you're welcome to do that. And the metal chairs can be uncomfortable. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. If you have a chair pad you want to sit in, go for it. You're welcome to do that. Don't lug your lazy boy up here. That's probably a little overkill, but do what you need to do to be comfortable in those chairs. Again, children are welcome to attend the service and encouraged to attend with their families. For the month of June, we won't have organized childcare for the reasons I've already shared, but the playgrounds will be open, and as a parent, if your child is a little wiggly and you need to have mom or dad rotate out and take them out to the playground, you can do that. You can't send them out there, you can take them out there. We have 2 beautiful playgrounds, and that might give your kid a break. We're also considering ways to provide a nursing mom's room or cry room as well. And just like we mentioned in the other service, some things will be in place to provide protection. The offering plates won't be passed. We'll have no bulletins, no meet and greet time. If you're ill, please stay home. And we won't have a public come forward invitation where people are interacting that closely right there at the front. And again, we're going to ask everyone to use hand sanitizer that we'll provide as you enter the building. And we want that service as well, obviously, to be joyful. It's going to be in the gym, which is a little different. I know everybody loved to be in the sanctuary, but we just don't feel like we can sanitize the entire room quick enough and well enough to have confidence enough about it to have a second service in there in the same day. That's why we're going to meet in the gym, but it'll just be for a couple months for a short season. Again, you decide which worship service best fits you and your family, and you go to that service and enjoy worshiping the Lord as a church family. The next question everybody probably has is, what about connect groups? And we mentioned the worship services will restart in June, but the connect groups will take a little bit longer break, and there's a good reason for that. It's just simply impossible to follow the recommendations as well as some of the requirements about social distancing for different age groups while meeting in small classrooms. There's just no way to put 6 feet between different people or families in almost all of our classrooms, and so we're going to have to hit the pause button on that a little bit longer. We wish we didn't have to do that, but we're trying to do what's best for our church family, for the health and safety of everybody involved. I do want to just pause and say thank you to our Connect Group leaders. I'm telling you what, as a pastor, I couldn't be prouder of the incredible just effort and the way that our Connect Group leaders have gone way above and beyond any expectations to continue to connect with you, to pray with you, to find creative ways to study your lessons together, whether it's been meeting under a shade tree here at the church outside, or it's been meeting in someone's home on their patio or porch, or it's been meeting on Zoom or other online platforms, or just in some cases the teacher's just been calling everybody and discussing the lesson briefly on the phone as they check up on people. I have just been amazed at the way that our Connect Group leaders have risen to this challenge, and really, let's just be honest, they've been the glue that's held us together. So thank you, Connect Group leaders. Thank you for your leadership, your shepherding of our church family, and you have been such a blessing to me, to our staff, and certainly to our church. Just for a couple more months, we're going to continue to be in a transitional period, and we're going to ask that as best you can, you continue to find ways to engage around the lesson on Sunday mornings. however you've been doing that. But we know that we need human fellowship. We need human contact. That's what it means to be a church, to be part of the family, to share in the relationships we have in the body of Christ. And so we're trying to create a good middle ground that provides that community, that fellowship, that social interaction. So here's the plan for June and July. Even though we're not going to meet on campus during the Connect Group Hour, we are asking you to continue to study the lesson together in whatever way you've been doing that, but also to provide the opportunity for fellowship. And the way we want to encourage you to do that is to meet on Sunday nights if at all possible. For a couple of your groups, you may say, hey, that's not going to work. Could we meet on a Tuesday night? If you simply can't meet on Sunday night and you want to meet at another time or maybe Saturday morning, we want to honor that because we're so passionate about you getting together. But aim for Sunday night. We've already given that day to the Lord. And we want you to meet at someone's home and to figure out whoever's home that works best at, and to meet out in the backyard and on the front porch under a shade tree. You can even meet at the city park. You can meet here at the church courtyard, but meet somewhere outside where it's safe and you can spread out. And we want to encourage you to meet in a small enough group where you can actually have some fellowship. If you meet in a group of 40 people and then you try to spread out like we're supposed to, you'll have to be yelling across the backyard to interact. Some of the Connect Group leaders have already talked about having the whole group meet up just to see each other, and then dividing up into manageable groups of maybe 3, 4, 5 couples for actual discussion where you'll just get together, catch up with one another, pray for one another. I put out some questions about the sermon just to move discussion along and just to help you personalize and apply the sermon. You may find those to be pretty helpful as well. We already have been doing this in a smaller sense for the last few years. We call these Connect groups that meet in homes, community groups. They're already a valuable tool to us, and now I'm excited just to see how many other people will be able to take advantage of that. A community group is not in competition with the Connect group at all. It's the Connect groups going into homes, and most often the whole Connect group can't meet together in one home, so they break off into a couple or 3 different groups, so we just simply call community groups. We're going to leave it up to you as a Connect group and to your Connect group leader to figure out which system works best for you, whether you meet all together, then spread out, or just meet in several different groups. And we know there are a few Connect groups that are really small, so your community group will be the same as your Connect group, and that's okay. Hey, and remember, just a word of encouragement, remember your missionary members, the people who would be in your Connect group on Sunday morning, but they're serving elsewhere. They're adults who are teaching children, youth, or preschool. Remember those folks. This is a great way to re-include them in that time of fellowship and community building and prayer. So reach out to those folks, especially right now. We want to challenge you to do that twice in June, twice in July. And you pick the Sunday nights that work best for you. Some groups have been doing that for a long time. They are already in a great rhythm and already on top of that. I'll be excited to see how that goes for you. Brandon will be there to support your group, help you out. And if you just need some help getting rolling, then one of our staff members would love to come and just to kind of lead your first group. And then from there on, you'll have a sense of how the pattern works. And hopefully that'll be a real blessing to you throughout the months of June and July as we prepare to come back together on the first Sunday in August, August the 2nd, to be in our Connect groups on campus. And listen, I know that we're going to be opinions all over the map on what the timetables for all this should be. We just have tried our best to be prayerful, to be careful, to take a lot of information in consideration, to figure out what fits our church and our people best, where we can move as many people along as possible together, where we don't leave people behind. We're trying to be considerate of everybody involved, and we feel like this will be the best plan for our church for this season. Well, that's Connect groups. Let me just quickly hit a few other things. Wednesday nights, we are going to continue on Wednesday night to have an online Bible study, and our youth almost every Wednesday night will meet at the church and meet outside where they can spread out, and then we'll have a few other activities that will be targeted on Wednesday night. Like this Wednesday night, we're going to have our men's group meet on campus. They're going to meet for cornhole and horseshoes and golf pitching contest or chipping contest. And in fact, men, come on, join us at 7 o'clock. So that's our Wednesday night plan for the summer, not forever. And then also Sunday nights, just as we said, we can't have a second service in there because we can't sanitize quick enough. We're just going to refrain from meeting on campus on Sunday nights, but hopefully as you engage with your Connect Groups community group or community groups, that will really help fill that void on Sunday night of a spiritual encouragement and wonderful Christian fellowship. We need to have a business meeting. We have had several business meetings that we've missed because of the pandemic. It's time to get caught up. And some people have asked me, hey, Pastor, just go ahead and tell me, how bad are our finances because of all that's going on? Because they don't know, because we hadn't had a business meeting. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Because of your incredible generosity as a church family, our finances are as good as they've ever been. We are actually way ahead to our budget. Your giving has been phenomenal. That's going to allow us to continue to help people at a real high level. We hadn't just been stockpiling that somewhere. You gave it for us to use it, and we're using it according to our budget plan and our principles, convictions as a church family. So we have not only helped people in need at a real high level, we've also been sending extra to our missionary partners who right now they're struggling because of everything going on. And thank you for your generosity in doing that. That gives us great confidence as we move forward as a church family. But we want to give all those details to you and update you on everything. You'll hear about our business meeting coming up very soon. Our food pantry has been a great ministry during this season. It's been especially helpful to the people of our community. You need to know that after our last food pantry in May, we're going to transition in June to having our food pantry on the second and fourth Tuesday night of every month, or Tuesday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. You may wonder why the change, and the change is simply this, but we want to be able to help as many people as possible with our food pantry ministry. That's the idea. And we know that right here where our church sits, we're next to the elementary school in Choctaw that has the highest number of students on free lunch of the entire school district. So our neighborhood and surrounding area has a real high level of working families who are out in the community working during the daytime, who are just working jobs that don't pay a lot, and so they really don't make ends meet and they struggle. But at our current food pantry time, we're not available to help them on Friday morning because they're at work. So we're making an adjustment, and we're trusting that the people who normally are served on Friday morning will be served on Tuesday afternoon, and we'll go from 4 to 6. That way that people who get off work will have time to come and to be here. We have a great crew of people who've worked our food pantry for years who will continue to be the frontline leaders in that ministry. But we also are excited by moving it to 4 to 6 o'clock that will engage many of you who've been at work or at school during our Friday morning time. So we're looking forward to just continuing to grow that ministry as we realize there are going to be more and more people in our community in need as the effects of the pandemic continue to affect our economy. Another big question, Falls Creek and VBS. We had our plans for Falls Creek that were adjusted as Falls Creek shifted the way they were handling camp initially, and then we heard that just recently that Falls Creek has canceled its camp for the summer, so we didn't cancel going to camp. Camp doesn't exist this summer, and I know that's a sad decision, but it's a decision that wasn't made lightly by the people who are in charge of that. We respect them and their decision, and we're going to have to adjust now, and Dakota is already working on new plans, alternative plans for your students. And so be praying for him and his team as they put all that together. And then Vacation Bible School was slated to be in June, and we're not having it in June. We're pushing everything back as far as we can. You're going to hear the finalized dates for that very late in July, very, very soon, and Colt will be reaching out to you. I'm looking forward to already some of the plans he shared with me. I know they're going to be great, so you will want to be volunteering for that, and of course you'll want your kids to be a part of that. Well, thank you so much for listening. I know there's a lot of details here. I hope that you'll go read the plan online just so you can make sure you grab it all, and then you can take advantage of the information to help you engage with our church as we continue to reopen, to return, and just renew our ministries throughout this summer. Thank you for your patience, your prayers, and your understanding. Again, every church will handle these things differently. We're trying to do what honors God best and fits our church best during this season. If you have any questions or concerns about all of these things, I would love to visit with you. Please contact me. There's an email address that's included on the screen where you can email me, and the phone number here for the church office. Love to visit with you, pray with you. Thank you for, again, your patience, your support, your generosity in giving. I am so blessed and thankful to be part of the First Baptist Church Choctaw family. I know without a shadow of a doubt that God is still on his throne, the tomb is still empty, and the best is yet to come.